Okay, so kind of an impromptu video right quick on something I do with the Speedi. And it works out pretty good usually when you just throw something together. And this is going to be probably my third or fourth attempt at this, honestly. I did one with wild rice, and I've done them a couple other. I'll probably show you those. They've all turned out good. But this one, I'm going to put a little twist on it. I'm going to make it my traditional style chicken and rice with the Campbell's cream of mushroom. But I'm going to add that at the end. I've got a video that I do this in a pressure cooker, somewhat similar. But I got 3 chicken thighs. Now, I always do use chicken thighs because they'll handle heat a lot better than a breast. They don't dry out. You can take these to 190 and they're good, 200 probably. But anyhow, that's a cup and a half of long grain white rice. That's Uncle Ben's, actually. That's what I've used on my other videos. And on some of them, I use basmati, any type of long grain rice you have. In fact, one of the ones I'll put up here has the Sisters. If I could find the bag, I'd show you, but it's something I got at Costco, just a long grain white rice. I'll get off of that. But what we're going to do, 1.5 cups of Uncle Ben's right there, just normal Uncle Ben's in the orange bag. 3 cups of water. And then I'm going to drop these right in there. I'll show you when I get it all mixed up and get it going. And then we're going to cook it. I'll show you the times we're going to use. We're going to start out with 15 minutes simply on steam. That's all I'm going to use is a steam button. That pretty much just boils the rice. That'll cook the chicken and the rice. And then when it's over, when that's done and the rice is complete, which all you got to do is open it and check it. It's really simple. We're going to add this cream of mushroom, and I'm going to add that can of mushrooms right there. So I'm going to get some of that started now. I'll show you what I mean. Be back in a second. Okay, right there it is. The 1.5 cups of rice, 3 cups of water, and 3 boneless, skinless chicken thighs. Let the lid down. We're in the rapid cook mode. I'm going to take it, well, it's already on steam. In fact, it's already set to 15. It's going to hit start. And when that's done again, we're going to let that get done and make sure the rice is done. And then we'll add this and mix it up. And I think you'll be impressed. Okay, I just wanted to show you some of the advantages. This is not a lot different than what you would do if you were doing chicken and rice in your oven. But one of the things you can't do in your oven is raise this lid and say, stir it up a little bit. Now, if I can stay out of these mushrooms, we're going to have a lot more. But this, I shouldn't have opened that yet. But I opened it and drained it. But right now, we're just going to open this up. You can see the chicken's getting done. It's making broth in our rice. I'm just going to stir it. Didn't really need it yet, but I went ahead and did it. You can see what it looks like. Close the lid back. Timer starts right back. And we'll finish this up shortly. All right, we're coming up on the 5 minutes. Just wanted to show you what goes on. It makes it simple when you can just raise the lid and do this. And you can see the chicken's still looking really good. I imagine it's, well, I don't know. I'm not going to temp it right now because the rice is not ready. And that, like I said, those thighs will handle any extra temp they get. Back to running. Okay, so I'm going to get a little bit out of there and see if the rice is actually done. You can see what it looks like right there. The water's going away. We're pretty close to the water being absorbed. In other words, I'm looking for water to be absorbed to know when my rice is done. And then, of course, to kind of get a taste of it. So I'm going to grab some of this out so I'll have time to taste it before it ends and add time if need be. So I got 1 minute and 36 seconds to let that cool off, and then I'm going to taste it. Rice is perfect. It's perfectly done, and you can kind of tell by the water absorption. I put, 2 to 1 water, and that's usually what you look for. And now I'm going to break up this chicken a little bit, and any extra liquid that's in there will obviously evaporate. But as soon as I get that, I'm just going to take both hands. Now I don't have my tripod set up. So I'm fixing to break that up and add this stuff. And then we're going to let it get to a consistency we want, if need be, by using the sear saute function. But I'll be back. Okay, so one thing I did mean to do was just to show you. I know that chicken is plenty warm. But you can see it's 185 right there. The chicken's done. That's my point. 190, 200. I mean, the chicken's done. But it'll handle that. Thighs will, breast won't. But anyhow, I'm using these 2 forks to just kind of break that chicken up. And we're fixing to do what I said we was going to do a while ago, which is add that. Be back. Here goes my chicken, or I'm sorry, my cream of mushroom soup. Just like that. And I guess Well, that's good enough, but you could take something and dig that out of there a little bit better, but I'm not. And there goes my mushrooms. All I'm going to do is mix this up, let it sit here for a minute and kind of absorb those flavors. I'm definitely going to put some salt and pepper. I've already tasted it, and I had no seasoning on that rice or the chicken. So now is when I will season it to taste. And a little black pepper, fresh ground black pepper, and some salt. And this will be a quick and easy, I would say maybe 20 or 25 minutes. I don't know if you count the time it took to come up to what it called steam, which is pretty much cooking the rice. Anyhow, I'm going to close that lid, let it sit a little bit. Okay, so after I added my cream of mushroom soup and the mushrooms, there was about a minute left on the timer. So when I closed that lid, it started running, and that'll kind of let it all cook together just a minute. Let's see what it looks like. It didn't even really change it much. It just put a little heat to it, and still got to add that salt and pepper, but you can see it looks good. It will be good, and any family will love it. I'll guarantee it. Be back. Okay, so I went ahead for this recipe and put a microphone on and got a tripod out, because take my word, this right here is worth doing. The one I just did with the Campbell soup. Now there were the ones I may show you. I'm not even sure how many I'll show you, but like the one with the wild rice, it was good. But this one right here is similar to the chicken and rice you've probably had many times before. And the cream of mushroom makes it great. The extra can of mushrooms I thought worked real well. The chicken just works. And it just does. And it's really just like you might imagine if you've ever had chicken and rice that your mother did, or mine. This is the way my mother did it. It's perfect. It's easy. It's quick. All done right there. Anyhow, not sure what all I'm going to show on this, so I'm going to kind of step away because I may turn this into a whole bunch of other things. But the chicken and rice with the cream of mushrooms is a winner. Y'all have a good night. Love y'all. Come back to see me. Okay, here's one of those test recipes that I reluctantly didn't video when I did it. But take my word, it's perfect. And it was easy. It was simple. I thought I'd have to do it at least once or twice. But the Speedi's kind of done this for me. There's a lot of things that just come together once you get a basic idea of what it does. That is Lundberg Wild Blend Rice. And it's like it's a blend of wild rice. It's just got some red, but it's an excellent rice. It has a lot of grain, a lot of chew to it. I love this stuff. But that right there is 4 skinless, boneless chicken thighs, 4 cups of water, 2 cups of that rice. I set it to 45 minutes on steam. And that's pretty much all I did. I didn't put any seasoning or anything. Now, I would add a little bit of salt, maybe. I didn't use any. I used water. I used filtered water. Now, I do use filtered water, but I didn't use any broth or anything because it had those 4 chicken breasts in there. It makes broth. I would put salt in it, but that's about it. Long story short, that made an easy, quick, well, I say quick, maybe an hour, but you see it, and that'll be plenty for me tomorrow also. And it was great. I've already ate a huge bowl of that. It was good. But anyhow, there you go. Speedi chicken and wild rice recipe. Now you know. Okay, so just in case you've never dealt with a boneless, skinless chicken thigh, there's what they look like when you flip them over and unfold them. You know what they look like in the package. Well, there's how they look when you kind of unroll them. Now, obviously, they cut the bone out, so that's what it looks like. Now, I did spray them with avocado oil, and I put a little bit of salt and pepper. I've only done this side so far, but I wanted to show you. Once I unroll it, I did look for this kind of stuff, and that's like cartilage, and I did get that out of there. So I guess I'm showing you that just for kind of that reason. Now, I am going to salt and pepper this side, but both sides already have the avocado oil, so I'll be back. All right, we're coming up on the last of the full 15 minutes, which is pretty close to being perfect, even for the chicken thighs. And you saw what size they were, and there's 175. And that, you know, there's no reason, if you ask me, not to take a chicken thigh to 180 or so. It just handles it. It does it good. In fact, I ain't gonna say it's better, but it just, well, I always take them to 170 or so. So I'm gonna get those in the bowl. And then we gotta get that crisper tray off of there. I'm gonna put that on there to keep those a little bit warm. And we're gonna stir up, because that's really what matters the most at this point, is how the rice is doing. And I'll be honest with you, it looks good. I don't wanna put that in that water. So I'm gonna set that right there, and I'm gonna show you this before I even touch it. It doesn't look bad. Now, and I don't know how it's going to be, but I have a feeling if it's anything like last night's, it was excellent. Now, I did stir last night's a little bit and let it set. I can see that's awful hot. I wouldn't mind getting it off that heat. I just got to make sure that rice is done. And what's impressive is rice. I mean, yes, me, long grain white rice, nothing special about it. 15 minutes in the bottom. So I'm going to get that out of that container, or out of that, I'm going to lift this pot out of there to kind of get it off that heat. And we're going to take a look at it. I'll be back. All right, so after letting it sit a minute, let me tell you, it's got excellent flavor and a lot of promise. But the rice is just not quite done. It's close. And I'm not sure if it needs more liquid or more time. It looks pretty much like it needed a little more liquid, but if you look at that, that right there is what I'm looking for. I mean, that's close to what I want. I mean, it is a little thick, so it obviously needs a little more liquid. In fact, that might not be what I'm looking for. But the chicken breast, or I don't quit calling these dang things breast. These chicken thighs, well, 15 minutes, and they are spot on. And you saw the temp, so we're not worried about whether they're done or not. But they're not dry. I'll guarantee it. Chicken thighs don't get dry. They just pretty much don't. Now, I'm going to let that sit a minute. I'm actually going to eat some of that. It's that close. It just, I think, needed a little more liquid. But that's what test recipes are about. And I will test it till I get it. And when I do, I'll let y'all know. Y'all holla. Bye-bye.